Hi everyone, welcome back to PC Perspective. In this video segment, I'm going to walk you through the Thecus N5200 Pro 5-bay network attached storage device. The N5200 Pro from Thecus is a NAS, a network attached storage device. All that basically means is that this is hard drives without a computer attached to it. On the back of the device, we'll see that there's a power connection, a network connection, and a couple of other smaller inputs and outputs. But really, this is a device that stands alone on the network and can act as storage for one person or many other users. The Thecus N5200 has 5 hot swappable SATA 2 hard drive bays and supports RAID 0, 1, 5, 6, 10, and JBOD, which is jumbled array of disks, which essentially allows you to span several hard drives, say a 500 and a 250, and make one single 750 gig virtual drive for the system. It also supports migration and expansion across all of those RAID types. It has gigabit networking support. Actually, it has 2 connections, one for internal network and one for an external network. It has an on-screen display we'll look at a little bit closer down here for monitoring the status of the NAS, current networking configuration, even lets you modify the networking connection a little bit. And inside, the hardware that runs the actual computer for the RAID storage controller is an Intel Celeron M processor. Let's dive inside, take a look around, and see what features there are to be found. Looking at the exterior of the Thecus N5200, it is essentially more or less a 10-inch cube, a little bit slimmer at the top than it is wide or deep. The front of it here, you can see that there are a total of 5 hot swappable bays. They open up fairly simply. Click over that way. You can see we have a Velociraptor, or just a regular Raptor hard drive in there, and they latch in the same way. There are key locks for all of them that keep them from being opened should there be seedy people where this will be used at. You can see here there are 5 LED lights indicating network status connection, a problem, a migration or expansion being made. There's also a USB port here which will let you attach an external USB hard drive should you want to expand on the input in here with just a standard network drive. Large power button, reset button. Here's your on-screen display that will show you your network status, your migration status if it's in the middle of a migration or expansion process, and you can filter through all that information here. And like I said before, even adjust the networking status for the first build. Looking at the back of the device, we see there's really not a whole lot to it. There are 3 thumb screws that help you access the inside of the unit. One, obviously, of your power supply here with a single power connection on-off switch. One internal network connection, gigabit, one external connection, serial port, another USB connection, 2 more USB connections, and eSATA as well. Now if we go ahead and let's just take this apart, and we'll see how easily everything kind of slides out. Simply taking this off shows you an exhaust fan, and inside of the chassis we can see what is essentially just a small motherboard and a SATA dock bay right here. Now that we've got it apart, if we take the top case off, which also has the front panel located on it, we'll see the actual logic powering the Thecus N5200. One single DIMM slot, 256 megs is all that is. You can see the Intel storage controller. There's a Celeron processor in here as well. This is the flash disk module that holds the operating system, Linux based, and all the hardware really necessary to power everything inside. We can spin it around and you can see the hard drive bays come in really just that easy. One important note is that only standard hard drive, SATA 2 hard drive backplanes are compatible with this device. If you remember, there are two different versions of Velociraptor, one that has a non-standard configuration in the back, and it won't actually line up with the backplane back there, so make sure you're getting the right one. The trays themselves are really fairly simple. A metal base that you can use, comes with screws to attach the hard drives to. The actual drawer and door mechanism is really just plastic. Nothing really too dramatic here, but it gets the job done. All of the configuration of the Thecus N5200 network attached storage is actually done through a web browser based configuration utility. It's pretty plain, but it's functional, and that plainness might actually let you use it on a host of browsers, your iPhone, any kind of mobile phone for that matter. One of the problems I have with it is that a lot of the terms in the configuration tool and the web-based configuration tool are not very well explained, and if you're not kind of up on your networking terminology, you will find yourself going to Wikipedia quite a bit. And also, one of the things to bring up in that regards is Thecus is a relatively small company in the US, and because of that, their support, their website, their documentation included in the box is not up to the par with, say, companies like Linksys or Netgear and that type of thing. So that does bring a little bit more into consideration when picking out a NAS device for your home. Based on the fact that the theoretical peak bandwidth of a gigabit networking connection is about 120 to 125 megabytes per second, the performance results that I saw with the Thecus N5200 were really not that impressive. Whether testing RAID 0, JBOD, RAID 1, or even RAID 5, we kind of maxed out at around 25 megabytes per second reads and writes when using the standard Windows file sharing protocols. Now, the N5200 Pro that we did not have, this is the standard model, supports iSCSI, which allows you to simulate SCSI devices over Ethernet connections, and that promises to be a little bit faster. But overall, with the hardware we have, the hard drives we had tested, and the known quantity of how fast our networking connection is here inside the office, I was a little disappointed with performance on the device overall. I think a lot of consumers will get a little case of sticker shock when they find out that Thecus N5200 will run them about $650. Now, that is expensive, but when compared to other 5-bay NAS devices, it's actually on the lower end of that price segment. What might be interesting for you as a consumer to look at is, do you really need 5 bays? If you know you need more than 2, maybe you want to look at a 4-bay NAS device. Those can sometimes run you in the 400s. But for any consumer looking for RAID 5 and RAID 6 support, obviously then the more drives the better. So this 5-bay option on the Thecus N5200 could be interesting for you. The Thecus N5200 NAS storage device is definitely not a product for everybody, and in my opinion, it may not be a product for a lot of people. It has a lot of great features: 5 bays, RAID 5 and 6 support, printer server support as well, 2 networking connections, support for USB and eSATA hard drives as well. But the price is high, the performance isn't really that spectacular, and overall I think you'll find that for the consumer there are better options available for this type of functionality. Thanks everyone for watching. You can check out the full written review on PC Perspective at pcper.com.